Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Law enforcement searching a landfill in Lenox Township in the hopes of finding the remains of missing 17-year-old Zion Foster. That tops our news this noon. Police say that 70 people each day are going to be searching a 100 by 100 foot area at Pine Tree Acres landfill. It is a massive space. Foster went missing back in January. Her cousin was the last person to see her alive. He was sentenced to prison after admitting that he threw his cousin's body in a dumpster. Sean Lay joins us now live. It's such a troubling story. And Sean, this is going to be such a difficult task for these officers.
Extremely difficult. I want to show everybody just how difficult and get you the lay of the land here at this noon hour. You've got Detroit Police transit vans here all the way up in Lenox Township. Those are for folks who are going to be taken right into here, Pine Tree Acres landfill. Let me give you a look at the top of the landfill there just to show you that this place is absolutely massive. However, searchers will not be in that area. They'll be in another area of the landfill. DPD tells us they're on the scene. They've got a warrant to start searching this area of Pine Tree Acres landfill. It's on 29 Mile in Lenox Township. Let's give you a look at that area from Drone 4. Rhonda, as you mentioned, here's why they're here. Zion's cousin, Jalen Brazier, he told police that Zion somehow suddenly died when they were together back in January, and instead of calling 911, he dumped Zion's body in a dumpster. Police believe that what was in that container made its way here to this particular landfill and a particular area of the landfill. They've got that mapped out. Brazier even went on searches for Zion with Zion's mother before he was arrested and convicted for lying to police, but obviously those charges could dramatically change if Zion's remains are found. Here's what's going to happen today. This afternoon, crews are going to remove 20 feet of material above the focus area, give them some safety, some room to work. They will build a road up to the search area so searchers can safely get to that area, then build a deck so searchers can sift through the materials together. We've watched Detroit police, Detroit public service workers, even there's a backhoe and a bulldozer right there from the city of Detroit that will make its way up there to start building that road. They've been huddling here, getting their game plan together to safely do this because landfill searches are extremely difficult, extremely dangerous. Rhonda, back to you. However, I got to point out, searching may not exactly start this afternoon as they get this process of making the area safe for the workers happening today. Back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you. Right now, a suspect is in police custody in connection to the hit and run of the two teen girls on Belle Isle over the weekend. Police say that the suspect is a 23-year-old man from Ypsilanti. The two victims in this crash are still in critical condition. The investigation continues and will be turned over to the prosecutor for review. It has been 1 week since a gunman took the lives of 21 people inside of Uvalde, Texas elementary school. Many are now set to pack the first funeral services for the victims. Meantime, a bipartisan group of senators are meeting today to discuss gun reform in our country. This comes as calls for common sense gun reform grow louder. Earlier today, the San Antonio Catholic Archbishop spoke about protecting all lives.
To be pro-life, that we will call in the Catholic Church respect life, has to be consistent, which means from the womb, conception, to natural death, and all in between. And that means children, the youth, the sick, the drug addicts, the married people, the homeless, the people in death row. We have to be consistent. And for the most part, politicians are not consistent. And they use the pro-life to promote their base. And it's a very narrow picture. To take care of the baby in the womb and to kill it when it's 9 years old? How do you, what is the logic there?
And getting back to the school shooting in Texas, we want to get to NBC's Morgan Chesky with this report from Uvalde.
Once we do get some information that we can release.
Uvalde's school police chief Pete Arredondo would have been just hours away from being sworn in as a new city council member. But city officials now say that meeting has been canceled. The man investigators say made the call to wait before engaging the gunman, staying silent. NBC News reached out for comment, but no response. The city's mayor maintaining Arredondo is fit for office.
He was elected, and there's nothing I can do to change that. And that's something Pete and I'm sure the people in his district will come to terms with.
The highly criticized police response, the focus of a new Justice Department review. A senior official telling NBC News the DOJ is expected to name the person who will lead that probe within days. Meanwhile, President Biden taking aim at assault weapons.
I know that it makes no sense to be able to purchase something that can fire up to 300 rounds.
During the president's visit to Texas Sunday, State Senator Roland Gutierrez says they discussed the future of Robb Elementary and the possibility of tearing it down and rebuilding a brand new school.
They don't want to go back in. They're traumatized. I have little kids that come here and they're just bawling when they come near the school. We can't let them do that kind of trauma.
Those lost now being remembered in this tight-knit town. The first visitation services taking place Monday as mourners paid their respects to young lives cut short, like 10-year-old Mate Rodriguez. The little girl described as a sweet soul, dreamed of going to college to become a marine biologist. Her name just one of 21 on white crosses, now covered in flowers and notes of love.
It hurts because, like I said, they were helpless in there, like calling out for help, and nobody came.
And that was Morgan Chesky reporting. Be sure to stick with Local 4, Local 4 Plus, our streaming channel, and click on Detroit.com for our comprehensive coverage throughout the day as more information comes into our newsroom regarding the Uvalde tragedy. Turning our attention to today's forecast on this final day of May, where temperatures have been sweltering around here. Started off the morning in the 70s, Brandon, so you know there's nowhere to go but up from there.
So it's not breaking news to let you know it's hot out there and getting hotter. We have low and middle 80s across all of southeastern lower and southern Ontario with a heat index a couple 2-3 degrees warmer than the air temp. In fact, Mount Clemens, your 84 feels like 89, so heat indices well into the 90s. Afternoon temp around 91, and although it's muggier, it's still dry through this stretch. We are anticipating storms late. We'll have more on that coming up.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. A fire rekindles overnight at the Traffic Jam and Snug, that restaurant very popular for many, many years in Midtown Detroit that burned last Friday. That popular business suffered major damage when the fire started on Friday. The exact cause, though, is still under investigation, so we'll continue to monitor that investigation for you. If you need to fill up your tank after the long weekend, I'm sure it's something that you are dreading, but here is a look at where prices are right now. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is $4.62. Statewide, it's $4.61. And right here in Metro Detroit, the average today is 2 cents more than it was yesterday at $4.73 a gallon, inching ever closer to $5 a gallon on average. This comes as the European Union agrees to a partial ban of Russian oil imports. The European Council chief announced the agreement on Twitter on Monday. The plan is to cut nearly 90% of the oil imports from Russia to the EU by the end of the year. And taking a look at the stock market this noon, as live pictures of the big board show, stocks fell today as momentum on Wall Street faded following the S&P 500's best week since 2020. We'll keep watching the market and keep you posted throughout the day.